Dillian the Body Snatcher right here. It's a champ. Big up to Sporting Icon. Subscribe. Otherwise, I might pay you guys a visit.
So the Body Snatcher Dillian Whyte has given us his list of potential opponents that he could face next. And I'll go through his statement, and he lists them and pretty much gives a reason as to why he wants all these guys and what benefit that they have to his career. So starting off then at number 1 would be Anthony Joshua. And this is what Dillian Whyte has to say. Anthony Joshua, always number 1 on my list, simply because we don't like each other. There's a lot of needle, but we have a lot of respect for each other also. And we just do something for each other that makes each other want to fight. We have fought twice, and both fights have been battles at 2 different levels and 2 different stages of our career. The third time is going to be another battle. I would like to fight AJ another 2 or 3 times over my career. I think it's one of those fights where we will always work hard, we'll always be motivated, we'll always want to beat each other up. We just have that chemistry. Number 2 will be Deontay Wilder. Mr. Chicken Legs is number 2. I've been chasing him for a while now. He calls me a peasant, but I can afford to pay more money for him to come over here than the champion can pay me to go to America. So who's a peasant, me or him? He knows that I'm hot on his heels and I want to fight him. I've done everything I could to get the fight. I've had all the right fights and I own 3 belts from the WBC. I'm basically WBC interim world champion. I will go to America. If Eddie Hearn came to me and said, we struck a deal, a good deal, here's the fight, go to America, I'll go to America and fight him. If Wilder doesn't fight Joshua, he has to fight me next. Hopefully the WBC will stand by me and back me because I've been loyal to them and enforce that rule. I'll have a go and find him and show up and say, I'm here, let's go. Number 3 would be Kubrat Pulev. He's a very good fight. But there are talking about possibly going to Bulgaria to fight, but what for? The profile, the money, the revenue, everything is in England, so why would I go and fight him in Bulgaria? But it's a fight that I definitely want. I want to secure me a place as mandatory challenger for the IBF. I believe I can beat Pulev all day long. At the O2, it's a big fight. He's had some big fights, a top amateur, and at one stage he was meant to be a world beater, but for some reason something went wrong and he hasn't really fulfilled his potential as a professional. I believe I have the beating of him. He's open to left hooks, as we have seen in most of his fights, and his first loss to Vladimir Klitschko, he got dominated by the left hook, and that's one of my punches. I'm very confident of taking that fight and knocking him out. With Dominic Brazil, I think I've done enough, but if Wilder's going to carry on being a coward, then I'll fight on. It's an explosive fight, but I've got myself in a good position now. I want to fight for a world title, but if it doesn't happen and Brazil wants it, and it makes sense, then we'll have it. You know me, I'll never shy away from a fight, and I'll fight anyone. I think Dominic Brazil is a more dangerous fight than Deontay Wilder, to be honest. He's a tough guy, he can take a dig, and he comes forward to fight. He's actually got better boxing skills than what Deontay Wilder does. Deontay Wilder just has a bit more power than him. It's a fight that is very attractive stylistically for me. Dominic Brazil would have to come to the O2. He's better off fighting here. It would be much bigger. With Alexander Povetkin, Price could have stopped him and maybe should have stopped him. But you know David Price, one of his main problems is confidence. And that's what let him down, I believe. It was a devastating knockout. He landed the right punches, but I think he was pretty basic and open. He looked old and he was tired, and Povetkin was gassing. I didn't think he looked that good, but he got the knockout. We want Povetkin, obviously. That's who we want. I feel after that fight with David Price, as British fighters, we need to redeem ourselves. David Price showed a lot of holes in his game, and I believe I can knock him out. He's a good fighter, a former Olympic gold medalist, a former world champion. He's only lost to Vladimir Klitschko, so that was a very, very attractive fight, a very good fight. The fight that will get the public's juices flowing and get everyone going crazy. The Tony Bellew and David Haye winner, if Haye gets past Bellew, he can come see me. I don't like either of them, but I have more respect for Tony Bellew than what I do with David Haye. Tony Bellew is a funny guy, and one I've gained a lot of respect for him lately. Not just because we're in the same promotional team or anything like that. I just dislike David Haye's attitude, his behaviour and his approach to people. He always talks down to people and always tries to steal the limelight. Any question you ask him, he tries to make it about himself. David Haye is just a punk. Not a lot of boxing people like David Haye because he's an ignorant, arrogant guy. And with Derek Chisora, he's just a donkey that's loyal to the carrot. I chucked him a carrot on the undercard and he was loyal to me. If Eddie gives me a big enough carrot to give to the donkey, then we'll see. That was Dillian Whyte's statement for all those guys. So clearly, by the looks of it, his number one choice would be Anthony Joshua. Obviously, he beat him in the amateurs. He knocked down Joshua as well and ultimately won. And that left a sour taste in Anthony Joshua's mouth. And of course, he redeemed himself in the pro ranks. So while officially it's 1-0 to Anthony Joshua, to them both, to Joshua and Dillian Whyte, it's 1-1. So they want to get it on again. So Anthony Joshua is his number one target. But ultimately, obviously, his ideal situation would be to take on Deontay Wilder, grab that WBC belt, and then go for undisputed against Joshua. But it appears that Deontay Wilder doesn't want anything to do with Dillian Whyte. And Alexander Povetkin would be the one out of all the rest that he would love to take, because financially, of course, and the fact that he's a huge name in the heavyweight division, arguably he's got the best resume in the heavyweight division for number of opponents fought at a high level. With Dominic Brazil, and I mean, again, Dominic Brazil is number 2 in the WBC. So really, if the WBC are not going to play ball by forcing Deontay Wilder with Dillian Whyte, then Dominic Brazil and Dillian Whyte should fight for the official mandatory position. So why not? And with Kubrat Pulev, as he said, a win over him would make him the IBF mandatory. But as I said before, with Pulev and Dillian Whyte becoming the mandatory for the IBF, he doesn't really need it, because he would get a fight with Joshua anyway, because Joshua wants to fight with Dillian Whyte. So for me, I don't see too much point in the Pulev fight, but at the same time, it's one hell of a scalp. It really, really is. And David Haye, Tony Bellew is not really interested in Dillian Whyte, and David Haye, as he said, he's pretty much arrogant, and, you know, I mean, he sold us Arnold Jajai and Audley Harrison at one point in his career. So anyway, and Derek Chisora, that's an unlikely fight. I think Derek Chisora needs a bit of building to do. So drop your thoughts below out of all these names that he's mentioned, with Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, Alexander Povetkin, Kubrat Pulev, Dominic Brazil, and Derek Chisora. Which of those fights would you like to see the most? For me, I would love to see the Wilder fight, but it does seem that Wilder wants nothing to do with it. So, you know, we'll really have to wait and see what happens with that one. Anyway, drop your thoughts below, click that thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next video.